This is the Carty Method Podcast.
I am here holding the latest issue of Vogue, which is the Met issue. Dude, look at this cover. A$AP Rocky, look at that suit. The green on green. So tough. It's so good to look at in magazines. It's so good to look at advertising. It's good to see what's being printed. It's good to see like what editorials look like. We do this every once in a while, yeah? We buy Vogues and look at double page spreads. Wow. It's actually two pictures. It's not a double page spread. It's made to look like a double page spread, but magazines really the photography breaks all the rules, and but it follows the very specific editorial format rules, which is super important. I just think that buying magazines is so critical. So critical. Look at this. This looks like my image of Krista Kim that I did for Vogue. Yeah, this... Oh my goodness, the styling in here is off the chart. Look at that. Look at that with the walking stick. Are you kidding me? All right, that's Vogue. Hope you guys are here and with me. We are getting into what we do every Tuesday and Thursday. This is called Portfolio Lab, where I help you with your photography. I help you decide whether this picture is good enough to be in your portfolio or not. And if it's not, the things that you need to do to improve. Like, this isn't a joke. We're trying to be professional photographers here, and the level of work that's necessary in order to be a professional, in order to exchange money for that work that you're making is, well, it's a lot. And thank you, by the way, whoever is donating. First of all, Turn Signal Chronicles, who is also known as our girl Nadine. Thank you, Nadine, for your $4.99 donation. Where's my smoke machine? There you go. Smoke machine is on. There we go. Let me just pop out this chat. Give me a second here, people. Let me just pop out this chat so I can actually see your chat messages right here in my main camera. All right, let's copy that. Let's put this into OBS. It's gonna go dark for a second. I'll be right back. Hang on. Put this into OBS. Go back to main camera, and we're back. Heyo. All right, so now I can actually show Miss Turn Signal. Nadine, thank you. Appreciate you for the $4.99. We gave you a little bit of smoke there for that love. Thank you. Turn these lights on because they make the there you go. All right, let's get into this week. I'm excited to see your photography this week, starting with, let me tell you what this week's assignment is. On Thursday, I look at I give you an assignment like last week, and then I look at it this week. This week's assignment, and again, these are pro level assignments. For week 17, my ask was for you to make an environmental image within your niche. Create an image that incorporates a person, a place, or a thing within its natural environment. If you shoot portraits, someone in their workspace, someone in their home, if you shoot places, it could be an architectural or a landscape image. If you shoot things, it could be a product integrated into a relevant setting. Environmental photography and environmental images demonstrate your ability to tell a story by connecting your subject to its real world context, which makes your work more authentic and it makes your work more marketable. So it's super important for you to learn how to make an environmental image. We are looking at them on Thursday. I'm very excited to see your environmental images. All right, let's start with our first shooter of today. This is Dana McKenzie. By the way, if you want to join Portfolio Lab, go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab to sign up. I've recently added You can pay monthly, you can pay quarterly, or you can pay yearly. If you pay yearly for photo reviews, you actually save the fee of 2 months. So if you pay for a whole year, you're only paying for 10 months. And now, if you're paying monthly, there's a bit of a setup fee. There's a setup fee if you pay monthly because, again, if you want to come and go then there's going to be a setup fee every time you join and unjoin and join and unjoin on the monthlies. So this is just to encourage people to sign up once and like stay with this incredible program that I got going on. So go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab to sign up. Starting with today, Dana McKenzie. Dana says, I appreciated your feedback on Friday's photo review. So here's another portrait of Shai, a local tattoo artist shot in another location. I'd love to know if you think this one hits harder. Nikon D810 50mm 1.8 ISO 64 f8 at 125 with one Godox strobe. This is Dana McKenzie. Dana, thanks for submitting. Definitely hits harder, bro. Definitely, unequivocally hits harder. I did love the body language on the last picture. She's got like, you have her turning to you with the arm that doesn't have tattoos. She has all the tattoos on this arm, so why not have her turning this shoulder forward instead of this one? That's a thought. Exposure-wise, I think that you could go... like, you notice that, like, here is where the light is coming, but there's more exposure on her shoulder than it is on her face. So I don't know if there's some sort of an overhang or something like that that's letting the light in. But what's happening is it really does look like the exposure here is lower than the exposure here. If you look at her face here and her face and her shoulder here. So for me, the exposure here is under, we'll call this 10%. And then the exposure here is closer to normal. So I would call that the right exposure. This is a yes for me though, Dana. Let's look at this as a cover. It's really like a strong editorial photo. The small things are you had her rotate the wrong way. I would have her rotate the other way. Her face is turning away from the light. The light's coming in from this direction. So, the light's coming in from this direction. So have her squared up straight or have her squared up that way. So we can actually, that light can actually hit her face. Yes, I see that you're doing a little bit of Rembrandt on that side. Yeah, this is a yes for me, Dana. Just again, when you're posing these people, really watch where the light's coming from and watch your exposure. But this is much better for your book. I would definitely use it. I hope that helps. Taylor, yes. Taylor's happy. That means Dana's happy. This is Courtney Turner. Courtney says, this is another shot from my time with Manti Racing. Manti. Yeah, Manti. Here's another shot with my time with the Manti Racing Porsche GT3 RS. I'm considering for my portfolio. Thanks in advance. Z7 35mm 1.8 ISO 800. Courtney, you got to get a 50, bro. You need a 50 millimeter because you're shooting these cars and you're shooting them wide angle. So unless a Z7, is a Z7 a crop sensor camera? Nikon Z7. You have a 50 and no, it's not cropped. Okay, no. So it's a full frame sensor. So because of that, that means that at 35 millimeter, you're shooting cars wide angle, which is going to distort them. So it's going to distort them. So my ask is for you to shoot cars with a 50. That's my ask, Courtney. If you have a 50, please use your 50 and back up. Don't just go walking around with your 35 because you're distorting these cars in a way that's not flattering for them. Okay? Okay, please, I'm asking. As I'm seeing week after week after week after week, you're shooting with this 35 millimeter. And then I said last week, look at how it makes the hood wide and it makes the car. Do you remember me saying that last week? And then this week, I'm looking at another shot with a 35 millimeter lens. I'm starting to go crazy. Okay? So lock it in, Courtney. Don't like know it, but then don't do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure this is, again, that you shot all of this that same time back there. But if you're making the same mistake and you made all of those mistakes back there, don't send me a series of shots from that set. All right. This is Courtney Turner. Courtney, thanks for submitting. Your issue here is exposure. Your issue here is this is a horizontal shot that you're shooting vertically. Like, I really want to see what is here. This is not important. This is not important. There's no context. There's no lighting. There's no anything back here that's going to grab my eye. And down here, same thing. Over here is the rest of the car. So I would love to see the rest of the car. I would love to see this as a full car across 2 pages where you can put the gutter down the center. So this is a horizontal that you shot vertically. And you have to know when to shoot horizontal and when to shoot vertical. Because this is black on black and this manti wing is like highly reflective, we need some sort of light coming down on this car to separate this wing from the black background. Because essentially you don't see the wing, you just see the yellow, because the yellow is a contrasting color to back here. But the Manti Racing wing, which again, I watch Matt Armstrong and I know a lot about this GT3 RS. In order to really catch this, you need light, Courtney. You can't shoot black against black and expect with no light and expect that to show detail. So in this case, you have one light here and you have one light back here that is putting a rim on the car like this. That is putting a rim on the car like this. That's separating the car from the background. You have to separate the car. You can't put in a black warehouse. Anything that's black is going to disappear unless you're lighting it. So this is like the body kit on this car costs $125,000. And the only thing that you're showing is only this. I'm not seeing that it's a whole wing. I'm not seeing, not noticing these carbon additions. There's more carbon wings on the front. There's something on the spoiler. There's literally a fin back here that I can't see this fin because it's black on black. It's right here. And the only reason that I know that is because I know this body kit. I know this body kit for this GT3 RS. It has a fin here, but you can't see it because it fades into nothing. So this is an image that this light source here that you have here is not enough. It's not enough. It really needs like light. You need to kick top light would be incredible. Kick top light down on this car. Backlight from back here, or put a head in the shot. Put a head right here and shine it at the car, which is going to give you a hot spot, something like interesting in your background. Better still, like get a gelled light over here and call it blue because the car is yellow. Get a gelled light and now put that gelled light into this background to light all this blue. And then that creates the separation from the car. So for me, it's not enough. It's not enough. There's too much. The body kit alone on this car is like 125,000 US. Like, you need to show the details of this Manti body kit. It's super important. And I feel like shooting half the car, you need to see, Courtney, this is a horizontal picture. Shooting it this way with nothing important up here and nothing important up here and not getting the car that way is a bit of a miss. Okay? If you're shooting vertical, the car's placed in such a way that you see the whole car. I hope that helps you. This is Courtney Turner, everybody. Thanks for submitting, Courtney. Again, it's close. The exposure on the car, too, is like overall about, I'd call this like 15% under. All right. That is Mr. Courtney Turner. Next up is William Sedgwick. William says, this is one strobe and a clamshell reflector. A7 85 millimeter 1.8 ISO 100 f 4.5 at 1/200th of a second. This is William Sedgwick. Sedgwick, thanks for submitting. This is nice light. This is a very pretty, competent photo. Again, I'm very curious as to the answer to this one question, which is, what do you shoot, Mr. William Sedgwick? And I see you dancing in between shooting pictures of one specific girl, and it's all like sexy and stuff, and then you're shooting your sons. So I'm trying to build a portfolio with you. The only way that I can build a portfolio with you is if you have a niche and you know what kind of a photographer that you're trying to be. Right now, for me, William, you don't know what kind of a photographer that you're trying to be. And again, if you're trying to be a people photographer, you need to photograph more than just two people. If you're trying to shoot families and weddings, then show me families and weddings, William. Like, and again, show me families, not just your family. You cannot have a portfolio full of your sons, daughters, and like, it needs to be, well, this is not your son. Okay. Well, it looks very much like your son. Okay. So, not your son. Got it. Okay. So you're trying to shoot families and weddings. The weddings thing, that it's very different than this type of pictures. This is making pictures. Weddings are taking pictures. I'm trying to figure out why you want to put yourself into such a high stress situation that you have to be so technically perfect and fast. This is a great image. William. I'd love to talk to you about your niche. I'd also love you to do phase 0, William. Like, you really do need to do phase 0 so you can actually have a vision on what your future is as a photographer. For me, I just need to have a conversation with you. It's too much for me to do this conversation during an episode. And it's one-sided. It's one way. I'm speaking to you. You're replying back via chat. It's not the most efficient way. The light is good. I feel like the color balance could be just a touch warmer. It's a little blue. You see his blue shirt, his skin. If you look at my skin and how my skin is warm, and you look at his skin and you can see how it's cold, that's color balance. So I would just fix the white balance, make this a bit warmer, and I think you have yourself something. It crops well as a cover. Also want you to watch the exposure. I feel like this is just a little underexposed just because of the contrast in the shadow detail and how that's not quite as black as it could be. And his hair feels like you lifted it in order to make it, like, I feel like this might be lifted in darkened background. Let me just have a look to see if you are lifting and darkening the background. Looks to me like you are darkening the background. Looks to me like you're definitely darkening the background, which means you're not shooting to jet black. Exactly right. But again, it's a pretty good job, William. I'm gonna give you props for this. Again, I'd love to have a conversation with you to find out a little bit more about what it is that you're trying to do with photography. You need phase 0. Like, by phase 0. It's on the Carty method, okay? definitely help you with your vision. I know you're just in Portfolio Lab, but at the same time, I have this whole professional photography education system. You're just in one part of it, which is the developing the work part. But at the same time, you're trying to be a photographer. You're trying to be a family and wedding photographer without any concept as to how to do that, without any concept as to how to run that business. And a lot of the people in here have those concepts. So you'll notice they're way more focused because they're in my system. Please get into my system, William, and start with phase 0. All right. All right. This is William Sedgwick. Let's look at Torrance Davis. Torrance, updated version of a picture I submitted last week in black and white. Brought the contrast down, which added some detail back in the blacks. Fuji X-T3, 56 millimeter, 1.2, ISO 190, ISO 160, f9, a 60th of a second. This is Torrance Davis. Torrance, thanks for resubmitting. So you pulled the contrast back some. The contrast is still too high. I'll say again, you pulled the contrast back some, but the contrast is still too high. It's still too high. There's still in here, like, this is a black shirt and this is his skin, which is this light, but in shade. And there's very little, like, yes, there is a bit of a tonal difference, but there's not a lot of tonal difference, especially when you're looking at it, from here. There's not a lot of tonal difference between that shadow and here. Yes, you lifted a little bit. And now we are starting to see the type of fabric that this shirt is. This is, this is much better. Much better than last week. Much better image. Much better contrast than last week. I still think that you're a touch high. You could pull back. I'm not sure where you are right now, but you could pull back another, I will call it 10 to 20% reduction in contrast. So again, you're going to have to calculate that depending on where you are. You can still pull back a little bit more. You're losing the white. This is starting to get gray. That means that the amount of light that was back here was not 2 stops brighter. It's not 2 stops brighter in the back, which now this isn't white. This is starting to get gray. So that's how you know, like, when you blast the contrast, well, yeah, it's white. It's like, yeah, but that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to light it properly so you don't have to do that. If you don't light it properly, then you're fixing. And then when you're fixing, you're butchering your file. I hope this helps. This is a definitely better than last week. I don't think that we need to see this picture again. Just put it in your book and shoot something else, okay? All right. That is Torrance Davis. Let's look at Brandon Garner. Fun shoot that produced some awesome shots. This is one of my favorites from this session. Z5 50 millimeter, ISO 100, 1/160th of a second at f8. Shot with 1 Godox strobe. This is Brandon Garner. Brandon, thanks for submitting. So the exposure here is good. There's just a framing thing, Brandon, that you really have to lock in. I want you to see this as a cover. Okay, you see how high up in the frame that she is? You are composing in such a way that you are not giving any room for any uses beyond your 2x3 frame. I'm going to tell you, this is 2. This is 3. Oops, that's a bad 3. This is 3. Okay, so this is a 2 to 3 ratio. Okay, Instagram and most magazines are not 2 to 3 ratio. They are 4 to 5 ratio, or like, we'll call it 3 to 5. No, I don't think, no, 3 to 4 ratio, 3 to 4 ratio, and like 4 to 5 ratio. So what ends up happening now, Brandon, is you want this picture to go to 8x10. And then when this is an 8x10, you see that this is a completely different picture, right? You see now you lose her foot and you crop her across her ankle. What if this was a clothing brand and they paid you to shoot the shoes, and you are now proving that you can't shoot full length without, like, you're not locking in that, oh yeah, when I shoot vertical, I lose an inch on the top and the bottom of my frame. Therefore, don't compose with your subject right up here and their fingers right here, where you're going to have to sacrifice one or the other. So all you need to do is step back or put your subject up a step. Like, she's not cropped properly. And you can also see what's happening up here with this extra little hole of darkness that you have up here. That is kind of makes it distracting. The hot shadow here comes from you shooting with strobe in an area that is like literally jet black. There's no ambient. And then you're shooting at a shutter speed that doesn't let a little bit of that ambient come up. Your exposure is okay. I just feel like I'm trying to, again, learn what kind of a photographer that you are, what kind of a photographer that you're trying to be, what it is that you're trying to shoot. You have to shoot looser, okay? The rule is every vertical is a cover, okay? And every vertical has to be able to be used in multiple formats. So if you frame top to bottom, that doesn't work. If you put your subject's head so high up in the frame, it can never be a cover, which means you're not shooting to a format where art directors, designers, and buyers are going to be attracted to. So don't put your subject's head so high up in the frame. It needs to sit around here. And then lastly, you need to give your frame space. This is how much room, the amount of space that you have here, you got to give that much space. So you just have her put her other foot up here. Now she's got one knee up. She's got the second knee up. She's got her hands in here. And guess what? Both her feet are contained within that space. Ding, ding. There's your photo. So this is the stuff that people pay me for. This is the stuff that you, as the photographer, have to see while you're shooting it, because I can't be there to coach you. This is what photo reviews are for. And one thing I want you to lock in, Brandon, 8x10 is like, 8x10 is, like, I don't want to call it standard, but a 4x5 proportion. Magazines aren't 8x10. They're closer to like 8.5x11, which is not exactly. So you need to leave space because you don't know where your photos are going to go. So you have to frame them in such a way that they can be full page. I hope that helps you. This is Brandon Gardner. Thanks for submitting. All right. This is Mike Graves. Here's a photo I'm considering for my portfolio. Winter camping, fire lighting the trees, and a headlamp in the tent. FX3 24 to 70 2.8, ISO 6400 2.8 at f4. FX3 is a video first camera, no? That's what I thought, that FX3 was a camera that people shoot video with specifically. I'm sure it shoots stills, but it's definitely not a stills first camera. Consider the AF series unless you're like video first guy. Mike Graves, let's have a look at this photo. Mike, thanks for submitting. This is beautiful. Very, very pretty. Very pretty. I'm questioning the framing. I'm questioning why, if the tent is the only thing within this that a company would hire you to shoot, if this tent is the only thing in this image that a company could hire you to shoot, why did you put it so low in the frame and so close where it would actually get cut off if it goes to print? Like, you've cut up, like, This is the product. This is the money. So you spite the product to show the environment. You spite the product. The product should be right here. And also, you're composing on the thirds, which I said, and I will say every week. We compose on the thirds because the camera tells us to, because the camera has these nice grid lines and it makes us feel orderly when we follow these grid lines. But secret time. This is a double page spread in a magazine. And when it's a double page spread in a magazine, again, look at the placement of this tent. It's really bad. It should be here. It should be literally right here with snow underneath it so you can see the logo and literally beautiful Milky Way and blah, blah, blah. But who cares if this company is the one who paid you to go there and execute this photo? So this has to go here, and you have to get off composing on the thirds and dropping your and dropping the most important thing in the photo on your gutter and on the bottom of the frame. This logo is hidden. This logo should be right here. I hope that helps you, Mike. This is, for me, an amazing image and also a total miss. It's an amazing image, but it's a total miss. And I need you to see that. Like, I don't want you to be like the wonder of the scene and forget the commerce. It's art and commerce. That tent company or another company that makes snow-related tents, like if they make snow-related tents that are snow-specific, show the tent. That's what you're shooting. And this photo, you're shooting the Milky Way. You're shooting the stars. The tent happens to be there, but the image exists right here. If you had cut out the stars, then I actually would see this fire. I would see that more. I would see how it's lighting the trees. And I would actually have seen this second tent, which I didn't even notice until just now. And I've been looking at this photo for 10 minutes. So I'm an expert at looking at photos. How you place products within a scene is very, very important. And do not be overwhelmingly, oh my God, look at that sky, it's amazing, when this is the product. You're trying to include too many things in one photo. I hope that helps you. All right, that is Mike Graves. It's hard, bro, because, I mean, again, beautiful shot, but dropping the tent way down there on the gutter, like that's stuff that you have to lock in. And Kyle is asking, should we turn the grid off? I'm going to break your brain. You can make the grid not 3x3, make the grid 4x4. A 4x4 grid has a line down the center. So that line becomes your gutter. So instead of a 3x3 grid, set your camera for the 4x4 grid. And so it has something down the center and not on the thirds. Or look through your thing and imagine where the center is and don't put anything on there. Super simple. All right, guys, this is Natalie Bennett. Canon R6 Mark II, 85mm 1.2, shot at 1,000th of a second at 2.8. All right, looks like Natalie Bennett got some new gear. Okay, let's look at Dr. Bennett. Natalie, thanks for submitting. Better, but bad light. Better, but bad light. I need you to see that this is mixed light. This is sun and this is shade, and it's in the same photo. So we do see this hard nose shadow that's coming here. This shadow here, the eye shadow, this shadow here on his face. Look at how good his face, here, I'm gonna cut his face in half. Look at the light on his face here, okay? Look at the light on his face here. where he is in shade, right? Do you see this? Where he's in shade? If I just literally draw a line, if I just draw a line down his face here, and then cut out all this and show you this light, look at how good that light looks, which is open shade, right? Shade. Now, this is what happens. Now, if I cut this side of his face off and just show you this side, is that flattering light? It's bad. It's not good light at all. Not at all. So it tells you when you're shooting outside in mixed light, when the sun, it's 12 noon and the sun is coming straight down and creating all of these weird shadows. When that happens, we can't actually shoot people in mixed light. And in fact, I'm going to say to everybody, don't shoot in mixed light because you're not experienced enough yet. You're not experienced enough yet to shoot in mixed light. All you need to do, do you see where the sun is hitting him? You see where the sun is hitting him? All of this? And how he's turning his face that way? All you need to do is have him turn his face that way. And rather than have him face out where the sun is, have him face in where the sun isn't. And it's a completely different photo. So this is a complete miss for me. Also, where you're placing him, you have very crooked lines, which means your picture is leaning, this way. Right? Because look, I'm imagining that masonry, they're not going to build masonry things crooked. I'm imagining it's going to be straight. And in fact, if you look at him, he actually goes down like that too. So your image is this way. And how do I know that? Well, because you gave me a reference point right here. You gave me a reference point right there to show me how crooked your picture is. I can see it. It's right here. So I need you to not shoot where the sun is. I need you to shoot where the sun isn't first. And then when you're shooting, I need you to look beyond where the subject is. Look beyond them and see, is there anything growing out of my subject's head? Is there anything distracting that is going to take my eye away from what I want them to see? And then if you see light and dark, if you see sun and shade on the same plate, on the same face, move. Okay? That is my advice for you. This, for me, is a no bueno. And it's all because the light here is amazing and the light here is really bad. And you not recognizing that, Dr. Bennett, with all of this new gear, you gotta, that's the one thing that people pay us for, is to find light and capture them in the best light. That's what we're getting paid for. This, sadly, is not it. I hope that helps. You're welcome, Kyle. I get frustrated because I care more about your work than you do. Like, that's the thing that makes me fucking mental. I care more about your work than you do. That's insane. Like, that's insane. Think about it. That's insane. I care more about you and you doing better than you do. Because if you cared as much, every week you would listen to the review and next week change it. So I do get frustrated and I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm frustrated, you see it. All right. So shot with, this is Gerard Danso, 5D Mark III, 70-200, 2.8, ISO 160, f4, 200th of a second. This is Gerard Danso. Gerard, thanks for submitting. I'm wondering why, when you have this gray wall, which is a great contrast to this shirt, why you are dropping her at a place that is so sloppy. Why are you dropping her not even like half and half, but you're putting her on two backgrounds? Like two backgrounds. Now, one background makes sense, which is the contrast to the white, because we actually see the white and we see the gray, and there's a difference. But then also, she's also on this, which is a curtain, literally a curtain, not a background. It's a curtain. It's got all these ridges, kind of looks muddy, And then also where it's placed. It's like, I don't get this location, Gerard, when your location is here. Watch this. Take your lady, put her here. You go over here and shoot that way. Cut this out altogether. Guess what? Her skin stands out on the gray. The jacket stands out on the gray. Her hair stands out on the gray. Guess what? None of that happens on the white. What this is saying is, I can't decide what background to shoot on, so I'm going to shoot on both. Gerard, this is a no. And if you have pictures of her on the gray, show me. But this kind of half, like, you went through so much effort for her to get ready and have the nails and the outfit and blah, 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 blah. And then you're lighting her well. You're like, she's lit well. But then what's going on behind? Like what's going on behind? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, again, better, but still a complete, absolute miss. Like, beautiful white teeth, great earrings, great outfit, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to shoot her not on the normal gray background that's monochromatic that she's going to pop. I'm going to half shoot her on white and half shoot her on gray. I don't get it, Gerard. This is a no for me. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's look at Denise Gibson. Denise just bought Phase 0 and Phase 1. Let's get it on. Okay, so you're shooting a black and white landscape of a lake. 1 200 of a second, f6.8, ISO 80, 50 millimeter, shot with a Leica M11. Denise, or is this Dennis? Dennis, my bad, Dennis. Dennis Gibson. Dennis bought Phase 0 and Phase 1. Let's go, Dennis. All right, Dennis, let's have a look at the work here. Thanks for submitting. So, Dennis, you have a Leica M1. You have money. You've invested tons of money into photography because you've bought yourself a ridiculous camera. But you are walking around and taking pictures of nothing. You're taking pictures of scenes. No subject, no person. I'm asking, who pays you to take this photo? Who would pay you to take this photo is my question. Who? Like, if, when you're out walking, if you don't have an idea, like, if there is no, like, I'm shooting this for this, which is going to equal this. If that's not the case, then you're just exposing the sensor. And again, nice photo, but is it literally going on a wall or people paying thousands of dollars for it? Well, no, because there's nothing. It's just a scene. And again, if you're going to now walk with a Leica, so you're scrolling with a $10,000 camera and you're shooting, like, you have to have a subject. You have to have somebody who is like, hey, shoot me for this. And again, this is the difference between photography as a hobby and photography as commerce. Okay? Photography as a hobby is, oh, I like that. Oh, that's cool. Click. Oh, that's amazing. Click. And doing that with a $10,000 camera, amazing. But when you get into my system, because you just bought Phase 0 and Phase 1, this doesn't cut it. You don't see me talk about landscape photography. You don't see me talk about street photography because nobody pays people who do that. You'll never find a poorer photographer than somebody who shoots landscapes. And if you're watching guys on YouTube like Thomas Heaton and all these other guys who are landscape photographers, they make money from YouTube. They're not making money from the photography they make. They make books. They make prints. They sell screensavers and wallpaper and that kind of stuff. Nobody fucking pays them. Nobody pays them. Even the best Leica shooter that I know, Alan Schaller, the best Leica shooter I know. This guy, first of all, he is independently wealthy. He comes from a rich family. So he can afford to just wander around and shoot these kinds of photos. But guess what? He makes money because he is a Leica ambassador. So Leica pays him $75,000 a year to make these photos and gives him free cameras. So, and look at how great this guy is. But guess what else? He also he subsidizes income with a YouTube channel, which is kind of failing. So this is a Leica shooter that makes profound street photos that nobody gives a shit about. Okay? Just so you know, that nobody cares about. Profound street photos. Do you know why? Because there's no commercial application to this work. There's no commercial application to this work. So when you look at this guy's photos, it's just randomness because he takes pictures, he doesn't make them. Now, the difference and the type of work that I do, it is completely different. It is applied photography, meaning I get hired to shoot people for things. And those things is pretty, I make pictures. I don't take them. So there's no landscapes. There's no street photography. This is idea execution at the highest level. So what I'm trying to help you with and trying to help you understand is this is like what I call a nothing picture because it doesn't serve value to one person at one place on their journey looking for one transformation. The only thing that this serves is you. It's all it serves is you. And if you're making photos that only serve you, you won't make money. I'm obsessed over solving other people's problems. Because I'm obsessed about solving other people's problems, I make so much money at photography because I solve other people's problems and then they make money with my photography. Who is making money from this photo? And this is why I call this a nothing picture. And what you'll notice when you watch the submissions, Dennis, nobody shoots stuff like that. Nobody shoots stuff because they've graduated past taking pictures and now they're entering into the realm of making pictures, ideas and execution. That's where I'm trying to take you. And I hope that you're here, Dennis, for that journey. Because if you're here to shoot landscapes, you're going to be a sad camper because you're not going to make any money. I hope that helps you. That, mister, is Dennis Gibson. Get into phase 0, get into phase 1, and start answering those hard-hitting questions that I ask you. Do the work, Dennis. Do the work, and I promise you, you will become a different photographer. And also, a Leica is a walking around camera, but I don't shoot with a Leica. I shoot with pro shit stuff that that actually is practical. Holy shit, I just ruined my carpet here. Practical camera for practical applications. I'm an editorial portrait shooter. I need a camera, I need a grip, I need to be able to plug into all my systems, have multiple lenses, rent lenses. Like, so this is R5 standard. You know what I mean? A Leica, I want one, but that'll be like the camera I keep on a shelf. It's like they're walking around taking nothing pictures kind of camera. But trust me, the like commercial working photographers, if they're shooting Leicas, they're not shooting M series. They're shooting the SLR, the mirrorless version. And yeah, they're balling out of control. Dennis, I think when you get into phase 1 and phase 2, or phase 0 and phase 1, send me the workbooks. I'd love to see how you're working through the material. And when it comes to finding your 10 photographers, those 10 photographers have to be working commercial photographers if you're trying to be a working commercial photographer. And again, if you're trying to be a landscape photographer and shoot books and that kind of stuff because you're independently wealthy and you don't need to make money from photography, amazing. Happy to help you with that. All right, that is Dennis Gibson. Kyle Kiono also bought phase 0 and phase 1. How could you get one image reviewed by Carty? Simple. Join Portfolio Lab. thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab. Pay your money. I'll review your photos too. These people pay me to do this, my guy. So Daniel, you can't just like, oh, review my photo. No, go sign up, follow the requirements, follow the protocols, and you'll have your photos reviewed, just like everybody else. Okay. All right. This is Kyle said this was shot before my first review, where I told you to push the horizon down, and you were shooting very wide vertical. Sony A7 for 35 millimeter, ISO 100, 2.8, 3/20th of a second. This is Kyle Kiono. Kyle, this is a vibe. There's something here. I'm just wondering about like the treatment and the LUTs and all this shit that you're doing in Lightroom. You're putting presets on here. Yes or yes? Yes, you're putting a preset on here, right? Like, I want to see the photo without the preset, without the like Peter McKinnon fucking shit filter put on top of it. I just want to see your work exposed properly without bells and whistles. This looks like you have an Instagram filter on top of your photo. It's what it looks like. Now, I want you to look at my work. Do you notice that on my website, there's no like filters? Do you notice? There's like no filters. Do you see yours? It's very preset heavy, right? And then I'll also show you. I'll say, look at Grand Wrath. Do you see any preset filters on his work? Do you notice any presets? And I'll show you Nick. Look at Nick Johnson. Do you see presets on Nick's photos? So I want you to not put trickery on top of your photo thinking that you're going to wow me. Okay? I want to see the core of what you're shooting. And then like the post-production also. Hey, look. It's the new issue of Vogue. Find me a preset in here. Find me a filter in Vogue. Find me one. Huh, they don't really do presets because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. So if you're doing it, stop it. Stop, please, because presets are over. It's not 2004. All right, Gerard, welcome back. So this is a cool image, Kyle, but the issue is that the underexposedness, the underexposedness and what you're doing in the filter and the treatment and the post-production and what you're doing and what it's doing to the shadows and making the shadows look green, blue, and all of this stuff is aperture trickery that I really wish you weren't doing. Because what it's doing is it's taking away from the fact that like your shoulder is cut here and you're cutting the bottom of the guitar and you're cutting the foot like right at the ankle, which is like not the spot that you cut the foot. Like the filter is taking away from compositional elements and how tight she is to this edge. Like this picture needed to be a little bit looser, and you're very concerned about this leading line down here and including this background. You're so concerned about including this background that you actually are cutting her limbs and cropping her in a weird way. For me, the light is coming this way. So turn this way. Turn this way. And come in that way and shoot her just against that and get that beautiful sunlight on her face straight on. And forget about the bridge, because that's another photo, like 2 photos in one. You're shooting this portrait of her, but you're competing with this because that's so important to you. This is 2 pictures in one. Don't make 2 pictures in one. Just make one. Okay, that is now your subject is competing with your background. Don't do that. That is Kyle Kiono. I hope that helps you, Kyle. And Guy, with the presets, no presets, please. It's no presets. Nadine O'Connor. Nadine, going back to the basic to make the A9 mine, Sony A9 40 millimeter 2.5. ISO 400, f2.5. You're shooting wide open. You're shooting wide open now, Nadine. Like, Nadine, don't shoot wide open. You're shooting wide open. And you're shooting wide open at an 800th of a second. These kinds of mistakes really make me crazy. Okay, I'm going to show you. F4 at 2.5 at an 800th of a second. Okay. So F 2.5 at an 8,000th of a second. 800th of a second. 800th of a second at ISO 400. Okay. At ISO 400. Okay, so this is wide open, which is we don't do wide open. Why? Because you don't need to shoot wide open. It's the least sharp point in your lens. You don't need to shoot wide open. So f800 or 800th of a second. Okay, imagine this. You don't need an 800th of a second. You can shoot at a 400th of a second. So now that you shoot at a 400th of a second, now you can increase this by a stop. So that goes from, we'll just call this 2.8 to round it. So now that goes to F4. So you're now at F4 at 400 instead of, because you're letting in more, oh, actually, no, 1 second. I'm going the wrong way. But no, an 800th of a second, yes. Go to a 400th of a second. That doubles the time. Yes, I'm right. Okay, that doubles the time. Now go to a 200th of a second, and now you can shoot at 5.6. So your reading could have been 5.6 at a 200th of a second at ISO 400. So that is the same as the reading as you did. The same. Only better, because you're not shooting wide open. And I hope if that's not computing, if that's not computing, like honestly, I don't know what to do. Like, this is the fundamentals of photography. You can't run without learning how to walk, and you can't pretend because I'm going to catch your mistakes if you're over here doing something and not understanding like these really simple fundamentals. Okay, now let's look at the truck. The truck is like, this is not it, Nadine. it's a very overcast day. I get it. It's an overcast day, but this isn't a like, oh my wow, like the like it's just okay. It's just okay. And because the truck is parked where it is, and I see this other truck and hydro lines and the cement, like it's just okay, Denise. And again, exposure wise, amazing. Now you're making your A9 look like what it's supposed to. Like, look at, there's no noise and it's actually super high resolution. But for me, what I would say is this image, you're just testing your camera and not like, and giving me an image that's not like radically underexposed like you did last week. So for that, like, I appreciate it and I get it. And I'm glad that you're locked in. Now we got to get back into you executing real ideas and the kind of ideas that are going to win you photo of the week. Okay. I hope that helps. That's Nadine O'Connor. I know you've been waiting, and the wait is almost over. The application process for my Professional Photographers Accelerator opens again for the next round very soon. This is your opportunity to join a transformative 12-week program designed to help you build a thriving photography career. This isn't a course, by the way. This is a career accelerator program for photographers who are ready to elevate their craft and their business. Over 3 months, you'll dive into my proven 6-phase system, learning everything that you need to succeed, from building a market for your work to creating high-value offers and developing client acquisition systems that deliver consistent results. Over 12 weeks, I give you focused training and live group mentorship, which builds your roadmap and will fast-track your success for your photography business. This means bi-weekly group masterclasses that take you through each phase of my system, equipping you with actionable tools to overcome roadblocks and thrive. Weekly cohort sessions to keep you accountable, working alongside other ambitious photographers while getting personalized support from me. When you join my Professional Accelerator, you're stepping into a community of photographers just like you. Many have already completed my 6-phase system, and they're now refining their craft by going through it again. They've walked the path that you're about to take, and they're here to support your journey every step of the way. Together, they're helping me ensure that you succeed. This unique level of peer and mentor support is what makes my accelerator truly special. You're not just learning, you're surrounded by a network of experienced photographers who understand your challenges and are dedicated to seeing you thrive. Joining my waitlist is your only chance to access this exclusive program. Spots are really limited, and my accelerator fills up really quickly. Visit thecartymethod.com/accelerator to join the waitlist now and make 2025 the year of your photography career transformation. All right, Mr. Gary Murray, new member. Welcome, Gary. Glad you're here. So, Gary says it's from a styled editorial shot, not as recent as I would like. However, this is indicative of my shooting style. Fuji X-T2 with a Canon 50mm adapted, ISO, which is about a 75mm, ISO 800 f2.8, 1/4000th of a second. This is Gary Murray. Gary, thanks for submitting. This has a flavor, Gary. It definitely has something, for sure. The exposure is off. You need to see that this exposure is under. This is under by half a stop. So just go in Lightroom and hit that slider that way, and you'll see how under this actually is. Energy wise, it's good. I mean, it'd be nice to see the rest of this hat. For me, I'm not sure if this girl is 15 or if she's an adult and flat. So that kind of like, I'm not sure if this is a young girl or an old, an of age girl. So for that, like, I have to kind of be delicate. I can't tell if this is a junior or an adult. So like, again, these kinds of like super nuanced things are super important to me. like good focus on the eye, really nice open shade. These flowers here, I don't think that these are needed. We're not seeing them enough to really know what they are. And in you keeping these flowers in, you sacrifice the hat. And guess what? The hat could be something that your client is hiring you to shoot, right? The hat could be something that your client's hiring you to shoot. So because of that, make sure that you show the hat. And then showing you this as a cover. Also, you're pre-cropping this to 9x12 or to 8x10. Don't do that. Please give me the whole frame because I need to see how you shoot. She just turned 18. I need to see, Gary, how you shoot. So don't crop pictures. Give me the entire frame so I, as the art director, can see, like, because that's how if I hired you to shoot this, and this is kind of this game that we play, I hired you to shoot this, you're now delivering it to me, you don't get to deliver me a cropped image. The crop is my decision. It's not yours. Okay, you decide when you shoot it and then you let it go, and it's up to me. But you have to be wary of headspace for covers, double page spreads, where the gutter goes, and all of this stuff, which the more you submit, the more I'll understand your work. I've now looked at an old photo. Now send me a new one. Send me something that you've just shot after this review. Okay. I definitely don't use Portfolio Lab as a means to help you curate old work. Use this as a means for you to build new work that you're inspired to shoot to help one person at one place on their journey create one transformation. That's what our photography can do if you're doing it right. All right, guys, that is Gary Murray. Gary, thanks for submitting. Got so much stuff on my desk that I normally don't have here. I don't drink coffee, by the way. Things that you might not know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have maybe one coffee a month. I drink tea. All right, this is Samuel Salling. Samuel says, capturing the reception of a local real estate agency in an 18th century office building, hand blended in Photoshop. Sony A7 IV 16-35 2.8, shot at 16, ISO 100, f8, 1 second. Oh yeah, you did multiple exposures. So natural light through the window. This is Samuel Salling. Samuel in my accelerator program. Now we are looking through accelerator members, people who are in the Carty method system. This is Samuel Salling. Samuel, this is a very competent interior. It's overexposed by a third of a stop. The light that's coming in here is hot. And we're losing detail in here. We're losing a little bit of detail in here. I mean, again, it's okay that it's high key, but it's too hot because it's starting to get bleedy and starting to get blue. So we need to like pull the exposure down. What I would do is I would overall drop this by a third just to see what this feels like. Cause I have a feeling the color of these floors are not this white. Your lines are amazing though, Samuel. This is a really strong image. This highlight in here is also making it difficult to read the company brand, which is why if you reduce this by a third, this is going to be easier to read and your client's going to be happy. Your client's going to be much happier. These kinds of things over here, like these pencils and this kind of stuff, like that's, I mean, and this pencil, this is the kind of stuff that we like. We do a real scan before we're shooting. And for me, I'm a psycho. Like I'll take the phone and that sensor, I'll take that off the wall. I look down in here at like dirt here and this kind of stuff. And then, of course, now we're seeing underneath here. So, my God, you got to take that garbage can away. So that's not there. And look at how the floor is crooked in here. So you can see how that's meeting. And then there's a huge shadow and a huge gap there. So that's some post-production. Also, this line under here. Here, this line, you can see that it would be served better if we could like clean that line a little bit. Obviously clean up the little leg here, catch that. Take away these little magnets because that looks cheesy. Take away the HP logo because HPs are cheesy and Macs are way better. Yeah, this is stuff that I do when I scan a photo. Up here, take away that. Up here, clean that up. Yeah, like definitely. Clean that up. Take that away. So, Samuel, this is what I do when I look at my photos. You see here the paint that you can fix here. And then a little bit of cleanup that you can do here, here, here. And then again, another garbage can that could be just tucked away and not in your shot. Like garbage can, just put it back there for your photo. More cleanup on the paint that you can do down here. And yeah, like this is how I look at this photo, and this is how I would look at this photo before I present it to my client. So overall, the exposure's got to drop. This is a very, very good swing for you. I'm going to give you an 11, but I want you to see all the stuff that I see in this photo. And also, just look at when I do the smoke again. When I do the smoke, you'll see what better exposure looks like. Watch when it comes back down. You see, like, better exposure, and then it goes back to normal. So I hope that helps you. That is Samuel Salling. And again, yes, I catch everything. Samuel, our next shooter is Jay Tracy. Image from a couple of weeks ago that I shot during a location test. Thank you for your time and expertise. Let me know if this has a place in my book. ISO 800, 1/400th of a second at 3.5. Sony A7R3 with a 16-35 with ambient light. This is Jay Tracy. Jay, thanks for submitting. Jay, this is a vibe. It's just the mixed light, girl. This is a vibe, but it falls apart when I look at it closer, girl. And I'm going to show you, and I see it from here. Look at her arms. This is mixed light. Look at what's happening here in her skin. Look at what's happening on her hands. Look at what's happening on her nose. Like this is what happens when you have shade and sun in the same picture. The sensor cannot handle like sun coming in at f32 and then shade that needs you to shoot f2.8. Like that in the same frame. If you bias shadow detail, which you did, your highlights look like this. Your highlights, because again, do you remember earlier when I was talking about mixed light with Natalie Bennett shooting her graduate in mixed light? You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing, only this light is hitting her arm, not her, well, it's hitting her face. Look at the difference between how it is on her chest, and like black girl's skin should not ever go 100% white. That's exposure. So this and this like makes the whole photo a wash. And then the horizon line right dead through her chest, it's two photos. Now we have two photos. We have this photo, the photo that exists above the water, and then we have this photo down here. And because you're trying to include both in one picture, what's going on below the water, super cool. What's going on above the water, super distracting and out of context. So this is like, you can shoot this on an overcast day. If you're if you're going to be underwater, well, then the direct sun looks better. But when you're above water, it doesn't. Its shade looks better because skin doesn't like mixed light. So we are in between a bit of a rock and a hard place for me. This cannot go in your portfolio, Jay. No, it is a technical mess, and I am not creating photographers that create technical messes. So no, this doesn't go in your book. I hope that helps. All right, that is Jay Tracy. Lamont DeSalle. Another image from a previous session with this model. As always, thanks again, Carty, for your time. Z6, 50mm 1.8, ISO 400, f10, 1/200th of a second. Shot with a few Godox lights. Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, thanks for submitting. So, cool light, cool set. Broken pose. The girl is broken. Like, literally, the body language is just wrong. It's just wrong. She's trying so hard to look cool that it looks bad. And your lines, and again, we've gone over this shot. We've gone over this shot. We've gone over the styling of this shot and this set. And the way that you're back then, you were not hitting your backgrounds straight on. You were skimming, which we talked about how that just doesn't cut it. So this Lamont, it's crooked on the base. Her body language with the hand on the, like, I'm a little teapot. This whole business that she's doing is super silly. And when a model does that, I say, please don't do that. Like, so, and again, the clothes are loud and clownish. It's just like, this is just a no. Like, this is a no. It's just simple. Just let it go. And again, we talk about this where you have this emotional attachment to these pictures. It's like, yeah, but I like it. It's like, yeah, but it's not serving you. Yeah, but it's like, listen, you can yeah, but all your way to the poorhouse. You can yeah, but yourself all the way to having no money and starting to sell your gears because you're letting your models dictate what happens in your photos. Let's open Vogue, shall we? Shall we open Vogue and find this pose in Vogue? Should we do that? Let's open Vogue and find A$AP Rocky doing that. Or like Giselle Bundchen or something. Like, it doesn't happen. Because I'll say again, the new pose is no pose. It's only been like that for the last 15 years. No pose is the new pose. So if you're overly posing your models, you're dated and you're making dated work just because you don't buy magazines and see what's going on. So, Lamont, I'm going to say it very clearly. Let this photo shoot go. All right. This is Ramon Trotman. Ramon, portrait session with a client, went back to one light. Look forward to your feedback. A7 470 to 180, 2.8, ISO 50, f8, 250th of a second, with one strobe, one V flat. This is Ramon Trotman. Ramon, this is a vibe, Ramon. This is simple. This is simple and well executed. And it's a professional portrait. For me, again, eye contact. He's looking in a way that's like, I don't know where he's looking. I don't know where he's looking. You're taking me out of the frame. Connect with your subject. Have them look down the barrel. Because then now when I'm looking at this photo, they're looking at me. So every time I've gone so in depth on eye contact for portraits and having people look over there and look over there and look down there and look. It's like, have them look at the fucking camera because that's where your viewer is. And the viewer, that eye contact holds them 1 second longer. Or you want people to just fly by your photos. You don't care about holding people's attention. Eye contact. Like, I strategically use people looking away. But if your MO is people are never looking at you, you're lighting them, styling them, putting them in a studio, blah, 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 and then having them look over there. It makes it look like a snapshot. Eye contact. That is what we are doing. So, Ramon, great shot, missing with the eye contact. And if you have a shot with eye contact, let that be the edit. Again, this him looking up and over has an arrogance to it. Okay? Like, his chin is up and it feels aloof. And when someone feels aloof, that makes them unlikable. Okay? So photograph your people likable, and that comes from eye contact and friendliness and approachableness. Okay, so I hope this helps you. This is a good picture. Eye contact and a little bit of a different expression would have made it even better. Hope that helps you. That is Ramon Trotman. In my accelerator program, we are looking at accelerator members right now, by the way. This is Rinske van der Hoot. Rinske. This week I took the challenge of shooting a self-portrait. Rinske knows that I don't look at self-portraits, but she needed to do this self-portrait because I did a self-portrait assignment like a month ago and she didn't do it. So this is her doing her professional self-portrait. Shot with the D850 24-70 ISO 100 f4 at 1/80th of a second. This is Rinske van der Hoot. Rinske, let's go, girl. Rinske, this is good. This is good. The light's a little flat, but yes, this is a yes. I don't think we needed the table because this table really, like, it's just a veneer. It's not like a actual like wood maple block of wood. Like, I have wood tables here. It's like wood, actual wood tables. You can see that this is wood. It's not veneer. So because your table, this, like, don't feature something that, oh, maybe this is wood. Look at you. Yeah, to me, it's like you're featuring something that I would, just you without leaning on the table, just you with your arms crossed, holding your camera here, just you with your arms crossed, and you're wearing your merch, which is dope. So you're just having your arms crossed, and now you can stand upright rather than like, and again, I like the projecting forward. Next, your hair is up. Your hair is up. Your hair is up. I did a whole conversation last week about how whenever we photograph women, we take their hair down because it's just so much more flattering. It shapes your face. Like, wear your hair down. Like, for this photo, it shapes your face. In this instance, because your hair is back, like, it actually shows the highlights on your cheeks, which is really good. This is a yes for me, Rinske, but I just want a little bit more approachability, a little bit more friendly in the mouth. Just a little bit more, like, a little bit more smiles in the mouth. Like, and again, you're the solution to a problem. But I'm very happy that you shot this. This is very good. I would love to see another version, same background, no table, with you just with your arms crossed and your camera here, and with a little bit of a smirk, like happy to be here, not so serious, and then one with your hair down. But this is a yes for me. Good shit. That is Rinske van der Hoot. Well done, Rinske. Proud of you. I'm glad you shot that. And again, you needed to. This is Eric Hernandez. From the same session as a signature shot. This was before gaining the knowledge from Carty how to properly expose a white backdrop. I tried adjusting it in post, but it would really appreciate the feedback. R6, 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, f5.6, 1/125th of a second. This is a too light white. Too light white from Eric Hernandez. Eric, better with the white. better. And again, you know, this is just a gray background. It's just the body language, Eric. It's just the body language where he is, again, like projecting that way. Projecting that way. His shoulders are projecting this way. This shoulder's leaning down. He's holding onto the chair. Like, the body language is just questionable. Like, why is he doing that? And where the fuck is he looking? Where is he looking? And when you're the subject, why is he looking over there? Why? Again, this... If you watch me, you understand why I'm going crazy, right? You understand why I'm going, because I see the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And then I call the mistake and I say, hey, eye contact. And then next week I get a bunch of people looking over there and a bunch of people looking over there. You understand why I'm frustrated, right? I get frustrated because, like, you're thinking about one thing. Like, I went into this picture and, like, Carty talked about the light last time. So let me fix the light. Yeah, but Carty also talked about eye contact. It's like, yeah, fuck that. I'm only going to fix the light. I'm not going to think about that one thing that's going to connect my viewer to my subject. Also, how does this crop to an 8x10? If you're seeing how tight this is, Eric, do you see how this doesn't work as an 8x10? Because as you're remembering, okay, this is what I'm trying to do with the light, you're forgetting, you lower yourself to the angle of your subject. You're above him, standing, aiming top down. You're forgetting eye contact and you're forgetting framing. Like, but you got the light right. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you pulled one thing and you caused 7 other things to crash, but you didn't notice those things when you're submitting. So eye contact, framing, and body language are the most important things that you're missing in this photo. Remember, every vertical is a cover, and every vertical you lose an inch on the top and the bottom of your frame. And how does that work with this picture? It doesn't work very well, which means now we have to... Now, the boot company who hired us to shoot the boots can't post this picture to Instagram because the boots are too low in the frame. So we don't make pictures for shits and giggles, eh? We make photos to serve a purpose for a specific person, a specific client type. If you are shooting apparel, the jacket, the boots, the guy, have the guy project to the subject, to you, to the viewer, not project that way and look that way. Like, it's just weird. Like, literally, my chest, look at this, my heart. The reason that I'm sitting this way is because it's exposing my heart to you and my eyes are connecting with you. So that, now, do you feel as connected with me when I'm sitting like this? How connected are you when I'm like this? Because I'm closing off my core because I don't fucking trust you. I'm turning my shoulder to you where I can protect myself. So in shooting people like this, you're making a statement, okay? And that, but at least I'm looking at you. Now watch this. I'm looking over here. Now, as a photographer, you're no longer engaged. You're just an observer. And I'm trying to help you not be an observer. I'm trying to help you control the situation. So in order to do that, the people who you're shooting have to be like projecting to you. Let's look at the cover of Vogue again, shall we? Shall we look at this cover of Vogue again? Where is he projecting? He's projecting forward. Where is he looking? He's looking at the viewer. Guess where it is? On the cover of a magazine. Let's look at this ad of Julia Roberts. Where is she looking? At the camera. Where is her body projecting? Towards camera. Holds your attention. Or not. Or not. Look at how much space. Look at how much space, top and bottom, these full-length pictures are. So there's no issue with the cropping. Look at how much space these pictures are, top and bottom, full length, so there's no issue with the cropping. Full length. Look at how much space on the bottom and on the top, so there's no issue with cropping. She's not framed with her head right up to here and her feet right down to the bottom. Look at how low the horizon line. Look at how low the horizon line is in the frame. All of these things that this guy Carty says. And why he's like, because I give a shit and I want you to be better. That is all. And I want you to care, as I said earlier, I want you to care enough, care more about your shit than I do. Care more about your shit than I do. And again, if you don't look at magazines, if you don't buy every single Vogue, you're just pissing into the wind. If you're trying to shoot editorial, why are you not buying every single Vogue, every details, every GQ? The ones who do, they make work that looks like it should be in those magazines. The ones that don't do weird body language stuff like that because they don't know any better. All right, that is Eric Hernandez. Eric, the pose is an absolute miss. The light, yeah, great. You nailed the light, but you blew the pose. All right. This is Mr. Charles Fortin. Friend of mine asked for an image to use for an album cover. Interesting. Here's a 2x3 version of it, which can then crop for 1x1 for the cover. Should this go in my book? A7 70 to 180, ISO 100, f2.8, 1/1250 of a second. Shot, natural light. This is Charles Fortin. Charles, CD cover and book. I definitely see the square crop for the CD cover. For me, her hands are too high. This thumb should tuck under here and not come across her mouth. The way that the nose shadow is that nose shadow is really predominant for me. Seeing it as a square with it cropped here and cropped here, I definitely get it, but we're losing a lot of the hand when it crops that way. Really sharp focus on the eyes. Can it go in my book? Can it go in your book? Yes and no. It can go in your book for a while, but it won't stay there for long. Because for me, just the idea with the hand, I would not, with somebody who's doing a CD cover, I wouldn't hide so much of their moneymaker. She's new. So brand identity, seeing her as the brand is so important for a cover. Seeing what her hair looks like, what color her hair is. So I would never do it black and white. Seeing that her eyes are blue, so I wouldn't do it black and white. So it's I would think of and I would want it to show a little bit more of her styled within an environment. And again, if it's just going to be a headshot, if it's going to be close, well, her hands aren't doing that because it covers too much of her. So again, it's your idea. It's shot already. We can't go back and un or reshoot it. And if she's happy, cool. But part of shooting cover art is making work that's related to the music and the likability factor of the subject or the singer when you first see her. For me, the way that she's holding her mouth isn't right. She's not sweet. She doesn't feel sweet. It feels bitchy. And again, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying she needs to have a sweetness to her. There's no sweetness to her. So because it's just, and she's just giving Like there's no like cute or sweet. Like now it just looks like, oh, well, what's this girl going to be about? Because she looks like neutral, cold, icy. These are words that come to mind when I look at this girl. There's no like, oh, she's so sweet. It's like, no, she's putting her hands up and saying, literally, think of this body language. She's putting her hands up and saying, back up, stop. Like, that's what she's doing. Like, stop. So now, is that what you're trying to put forward? Like, she's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. That's what, like, if you're trying to take a picture of someone and they do this, it's like, don't take that picture. So there's all kinds of like minutia and unspokens in this photo that I don't know that if you're reading or not, or if she's reading or not. The thing that is the hardest thing for me is her mouth. Second, that no shadow. Third, her hands covering her face. So can it go in your book? Yeah, but it won't be there for long because you'll shoot something better of her. I hope that helps. CD covers are tough, man. I've shot plenty CD covers, and you'll notice the one thing that is the continuum when it comes to CD covers is it's just the artist and there is real brand identity. I've been photographing Cardinal Offishall for 20 years. From his first album, and then we did the 20-year reissue of that album, which you'll see later in this thing. I shoot CD covers. I shoot so many CD covers. This freedom of speech, this was the DVD cover. Obviously, it's not square because DVD covers aren't square. But you can see like this white on white CD cover, brand identity. Like really non-distracting is what CD covers look like. The only other one I think that's on here is Casey and JoJo. Oh, this Pete Rock, that really doesn't count. That's a mix. But yeah, this here, Casey and JoJo, again, brand identity. You see the faces and you know like who they are from, look at this book cover, brand identity. Magazine cover, brand identity. One of those rare covers where I have my subjects looking off. All right, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you, Charles. For me, I'm on the fence with this picture. Yeah, it's different because this is a bit of an intimate kind of photography from you, which I don't see that much of. I need you to make more of this intimate type of photography, but I need like sweetness. I need sweetness in the eyes, sweetness in the mouth, sweetness in the face. You know what I mean? It makes such a big difference. Okay, now we are going into my last two photos, my last two photographers. These are both cartel members, meaning people who are in the Carty method. They've been through my accelerator. They've done so well and made such strides that I've actually brought them in onto my team. The Carty method cartel, the Carty cartel, they help me run they run this whole thing. They help me with show prep. They help me run the community. And like, I can't just do this alone. I now have, let's say 7 people who help me. All right. This is Liza Hyder, and Liza is one of them. Liza, okay. So Liza says, my tulips on my deck came into full bloom the same morning I was scheduled to shoot your niche in black and white. I cut my tulips in hopes my model would pose for an additional look. Then I matched the tulips to a Salvatore Ferragamo floral pattern silk scarf for my collection. Shot with one Profoto strobe and one small Profoto umbrella with diffuser. As Carty says, there's only one sun. This year, I'm working on mastering one light and then building from there. Nikon D850 85mm lens and using the Minolta Flash Meter 4 that I have. ISO 200, 1/250th of a second, f11. And retouching by Soheil. This is Liza. Liza Hyder. Liza, this is pretty. It's just, I think over the shoulder with this girl isn't the most flattering spot. Number one, this arm has to come down this way because that makes this distance narrower. Right now, what I see is this distance. It makes her look like she's a pear. Like her head is here and her body looks like this. And I'm sure she's not a pear, but you can see her head is here, and the way that you positioned her, her body looks very big. So because of that, because she's rolling her shoulder forward, you can see her shoulders rolling forward, and like, how can I put it? Here, let me just demonstrate. Rather than her shoulders being back and her arm being back, her shoulders are forward, right? Which that increases the distance back here. You see? Like if she goes like that and brings this arm back, it changes everything. So if you look at the way that she's positioned, all it's doing is creating like this distance is massive. Now, her body could end right here, right? But it looks like she's huge. So it's just because the way that her arm is positioned, have this arm come back down this way, and then that breaks this black. It breaks the black, and then it actually, we can't see how far back the black goes. But now I can. And it looks like she goes all the way around here. And this is her body. So for me, Liza, the picture here, this picture based on this position, the only way to save this is that this is your photo now. This is your photo. That. So, and the reason is because I think really this is the best part of the photo to begin with. Because everything that's below, it's like, do you know what I mean? So this means that you have to radically crop this picture, because I feel everything that's happening under here is just, all of this is not sexy, and it's not flattering. Shooting her sideways like that, again, you're covering her heart. Like, have her project forward and get practice shooting square. And again, I'll open Vogue and I'll show you beauty shot after beauty shot after beauty shot after beauty shot after beauty shot. That is straight on, not this way. So it's very hard to shoot a model this way. And if they don't have super slim arms and is totally like fit, like a size 0 model or a size 2 model, if they're not that, if they're a size 6 model, then they're going to look thick. And that's exactly what you're experiencing right here. This girl sadly looks too thick. And I don't think that she's thick. I honestly don't think that. But the way that you positioned her made her look so. Here's another idea. You have a table, okay? You have her lean like this on the table. And then you throw the flowers over her shoulder and she's like this. But she's squared to camera. And it's a beauty shot. Like, this is a beauty shot that you shot too wide. You shot it too wide. So it really only needed to be, as I said, it really only needed to be a very small crop. Right there. That's your picture. So I hope that helps you, Liza. Again, nice light. It's pretty. It's just the black isn't necessary. And the over the shoulder, not shoulder forward, have her push her shoulder back. And then also, here's another thing, when you're shooting someone like that and then they're looking this way, it does weird things with the neck, which is why you shoot people this way. So they're not like it just makes all of this look better. Because when we're looking in here and we're seeing, like, obviously you're hiding her neck, so we're not seeing a lot of the wrinkles that you would see like under here. That's my 2 cents in a bag of chips. I hope that helps you, Miss Liza Hyder. All right, and our last shot, Sean Thomas went back to the basics to inspire myself. ISO 125 f7.1, 250 to the second, 55 millimeter. I think you shoot with an R8 or an R. I don't remember. You didn't tell us what camera you're shooting with. This is Sean Thomas. Back to details. This is nice. Let's see how this works as a double. This frames well. This can go in your book. This is a yes. Yeah, and again, this is a problem solving. Really good highlights, good light, good color. This is a yes. Good shit. All right. Photos of the week. I'm going to go through photos of the week, tell you who has won photo of the week, and then we're going to get into this week's assignment. I'm going to tell you what next week's assignment is 2 days early. Not before I hit some photos of the week. And again, photos of the week are pictures that need no fix or basically the best photos of the day. It's one or the other. Either they needed no fixes or it's the best photos of the day. Starting with the mighty Dana McKenzie. Dana, that's a photo of the week for you, buddy. Congratulations. That is Carty approved. Remember everything I said about the exposure, but yes, my friend, you did it. Well done. That is Dana McKenzie. Who, another almost technically perfect picture. Again, still want to talk to you. Still want to learn a little bit more about what you're doing. This is William Sedgwick. Very technically well done picture this week. Again, just a couple of mistakes with the exposure. Just very close. Very well done. Mr. William Sedgwick. Photos of the week. All right, we're going to give this one love now that he put such effort into this repair. This next photo of the week goes to Torrance Davis. Torrance, I'll give you the photo of the week on this fix. Now, move on. Torrance Davis. Very close. Very, very, very close on this picture. I'm going to give this picture an honorable mention. I'm going to give this picture an honorable mention because it is so close, but the review that I give you today should make it so you don't make this mistake again. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice honorable mention goes to Mike Graves with this picture right here. Thanks for submitting, Mike. Remember everything that I said. Remember, only the tent company has the commerce to pay you for a photo like this. So focus on that as your one and only, and no more composing on the thirds and dropping your image to the very bottom of the frame where it actually gets cut off. Okay. All right. That is Mr. Mike Graves. Giving some love to this because, again, there is something here. And again, I am giving love to the best photos of the day. Your next photo of the week goes to Kyle Kiyono. Kyle, lose the treatments, please. But this is a dope photo. Remember everything that I said, okay? Kyle Kiyono. All right. Hey, this one. This shooter getting some love from me. New shooter submitting this. The name. Okay, good. Got it. The name is Mr. Gary Murray. Gary, that's a photo of the week. Welcome. Glad you're here. Again, remember everything that I said about all the things that I said about your review, okay? That is Gary Murray. Hey, this guy, glad he's back. Mr. Samuel Salling. Samuel, it's the photo of the week. Again, remember all the things and all the fixes that I showed that I would do on this picture. But this should help you greatly. This is Samuel Salling. All right. Okay, giving this shooter some love, pulling light back. There's just one issue I had with this photo, but this next photo of the week goes to Roman Trotman. Roman, remember everything that I said during your review, but this is a strong capture. All right, that's Mr. Trotman. Hey, photo of the week. Really happy and proud of the shooter. This is Miss Rinske van der Hoot. Rinske, well done. Thanks for putting yourself out there. Shoot some more. Give me a little bit of a smile. Be a little bit more playful. Don't be so much into your head. The light is gorgeous. And you bought Elinchrom lights like me. Good for you. Well, you asked me what lights I have and what lights I'd buy. And I said, I have Elinchrom. And you bought them. Good for you. All right. And our last and final photo of the week goes to Sean Thomas with this photo right here. Congratulations, Sean. That is a photo of the week. I'm a little harder on you this week. I need to be. I think it's necessary because sometimes you get complacent. Sometimes you get complacent and think that your good enough is good enough. And sometimes you're good enough, you're not even tapping in yet. You're not even digging in on how good you can get. You're not trying hard enough. You're not looking at the right references. You're not looking at your photos and scanning them the way that I do. And again, you're putting it on me. Like, I'm going to shoot it, send it to Carty, see what he says. It's like, no, bro, like, learn how to scan these frames. Like, all of this stuff is like, don't get too comfortable, man. Don't get too comfortable. I am an insane person. I look at and I see mistakes on every single, like, I see mistakes on my shoots and I'm just like, fuck. I know better. You know, and oh my God, mistakes that I don't catch in session. Well, that's obviously why I'm checking. It's like, oh, fuck. You know, and then I see it in the computer and it's like, you know, like, you have to be like really, really diligent. It's important because your standards always have to be the highest in the room. And my standards, as you can see, I'm a crazy person. All right, guys, are you ready for this week's assignment? You're learning this week's assignment 2 days early. Take advantage. The weather is getting beautiful. And it is time for one of my favorite assignments. It is your niche at night. I want you to create an image that showcases your niche, the photography that you do, the photography that you specialize in. I want to see your niche after dark. That means dark. And also ambient, environmental light, street lights, what are they called? Gas bars, like street scenes, like Times Square. I want to see your niche at night. Whatever it is that you shoot, show me it when the sun goes down. You can light it. You can use ambient street lights. Like, I do not want to see images of something lit and then blackness in the background. This isn't what we're trying to do. I'm not trying to see one thing lit and then jet black. I want to see depth. I want to see points of light behind. I want to see some sort of like oomph. And night photography is one of my favorite things. I create personal work and I do personal work and I create night photography. So I'm going to show you one of my night photography images. and something that is part of my personal work, which is a light painting series that I've been working on for 15 years. I'm very good at light painting, and I put a lot of effort into my ideas with my light painting. And we are just getting into the point where I'm ready to start doing some new, fresh light painting. Look at this. This is what my personal work looks like. This is what I try to do with my personal work. I really am trying to push my photography into realms that like, and shooting at night, this is something that I pride myself in. Like, I'm good at it. I like shooting at night, and I can do it. And I look for scene like, and again, this type of photography, this is just like an exercise that I do that is like sharpening my skills and sharpening like how I see. But I don't want you to mistake like all of my personal work is like a project. I'm working on a project of people on their phone. So I'm always like, I photograph people on their phone, and I'm obsessed about taking pictures of people when they're on their phone. So I have a whole personal project in here of people on their phone. But when it comes to night photography, also, I go out and I do really interesting things at night, and I try to like push. But what I'm actually doing is I'm finding locations at night that I can go back with the subject and shoot. Because if you look at my night photography and the color and the sky and the saturation, and then some of my personal work at night, and then look at my main portfolio, well, you'll see pictures in my main portfolio that I shoot at night. And I'm confident enough in night photography that I will do jobs and they're at night. I don't have a ton of them here, but I definitely have a few. Like, I'm so confident in my night photography that I make, like, there's a video on my channel where I'm making this shoot. And when you see some of my other like really powerful night images, there's one more here, which I shot for CBC. I shot this as a job, night photography as a job. Like, okay, let's go. Call time, 10 p.m. Go make this picture. I mean, this girl was on the nightly news, and they were trying to shoot a picture of her during the afternoon. And I'm like, what time is she on the news? She's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, it is never daytime when this girl's on TV. Why would we shoot her during the day? Why don't we go shoot her at night? And the client is like, you can shoot at night? And I'm like, yes. Omar, stevecarty.com. You don't need to follow me anywhere except for my website. All my socials are up here if you want to follow me. So night and understanding how to do night photography is so important. If you can't shoot during any specific time on the calendar, you're cutting yourself short. Sunset, like the last little bit of sun before the sun goes down. Shooting into the sun with like hyper flares. Like, you need to know how to execute under all kinds of different conditions. More sunset, like the sun just about to drop down. Look at how long these shadows are and how most of the road is already in shade, and I'm shooting them in this one patch of remaining sun. I find these locations, I hunt them, I seek them. I'm insane about it. Outdoor strobe to look like it's night, but I shot this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, here's another one. Night photography. On camera flash, drag shutter speed, second curtain sync. Like, we can do all kinds of, Omar, you're asking super basic level questions, really basic level. Like, do I white balance? Yes, Omar, every single image needs to white balance. That's like asking me, do I expose each picture differently? Yes, Omar, it's photography. And again, more incredibly low light photography. So this week's assignment is your niche at night. Showcase your niche after dark. Use ambient light, use artificial light to bring attention to the subject in the scene. Let me tell you why this matters. Mastering night photography, mastering low light and night photography proves your versatility and your ability to create compelling images in challenging lighting situations, expanding your market, your appeal, and your technical mindset. So, Omar, I appreciate you're new, but you can't, like, I see chat. So when you're typing like super basic questions, like, do you white balance stuff? It's like, oh, dude, this is way too advanced for you, bro. I'm making photographers. Like, I'm creating photographers here. You want to be a photographer, amazing. But there's such a long way to go if you're just starting. This is like serious shit. People who are running businesses as photographers that I'm trying to talk to. If you're trying to do that, stay with me. It's a long road and there's no turning back. All right, guys. So that is your assignment, your niche at night. It's important that you nail this assignment. It's important that you really nail the exposure. And also, just so you know, I released some new things on the Carte Method. Go to thecartemethod.com and see how I can help you. Thanks for watching today. Hope it helped.
This live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carte Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get members-only content every month, and Carty has the best emojis on YouTube, and you'll get that crown badge next to your name. If you're building a photography business, make sure you join Portfolio Lab. How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carte Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carte Method.
Appreciate you all for being here today. See you guys on Thursday.